How good and how pleasant it could be before God and man to see the unification of all Africans. Marcus Garvey said it. Now let it be done. We are the children of that higher man. We are the children of that African. Whoa, whoa. Africans unite. Africans unite, yeah. Unite for the benefit of your children, because you are moving right out of Babylon. Unite for the benefit of your future. Africans, good morning. Good morning. My name is Smart Mado Ajaja. I'm the convener of Nigeria Now, Open Nigeria and Africa Unite, and the convener and the anchor of Nigeria Now at ONN and the Nightingale Radio International. I woke up very angry this morning about the state of Africa and thought that I spoke about it. Africa is a sprawling plantation, big edifice of a continent, the most beautiful continent on earth. Yes, actually it's the heaven that we talk about. That's what I know. I don't know about the other heaven that people tell us, with which they lie to our people and told them to continue to suffer until they die and go to heaven. And those who made them suffer are living in that heaven here on earth. And we believe them hook, line, and sinker. Here is the heaven. Africa is heaven. But why is Africa a squalid heaven? Why is Africa a hell? That is what we, the people of Africa, need to understand. Yes, Africa went through so many things. Slavery that carted away over 20 million of our people, with over 12 million perishing. Yes, in the Atlantic. 700 years of Arab slavery. 400 years of European slavery. Yes. Then colonialism, imperialism, apartheid, now globalization. When is the African mind going to start asking questions? In 1884, between 1884 and 1885, the Europeans came together in Berlin under the leadership of Chancellor Bismarck of Germany. They had this 2 years meeting, this big conference, when their industrial revolution became a global emergency that required cheap labor and raw materials. Africa was the destination. They balkanized the continent. They took a map of the continent. Yes, balkanized the continent. Created all fake territories. Yes, all fake countries. Yes, all the countries in Africa are fake. They were not the product, or they are not the product of Africa and the African people. We never sat down together to create Nigeria. We were not the creators of Nigeria. We never sat down together to create Ghana. We didn't sit down together to create Ivory Coast. We didn't sit down together to create Niger. We didn't sit down to create Zimbabwe. They created all these fake territories. We didn't create Angola. It wasn't an African creation. The only continent, the only country in Africa that we can say yes was a pure African country was Ethiopia. And even at that, Ethiopia has been going through balkanization. Yes. And that was the confusion. The foundation, that's the foundation of the African confusion that we must solve. So when our founding fathers were fighting for the decolonization of the African continent, they saw this. They saw all this. That was why they came and had a vision about the unification of Africa. But why has that unification been stalled? Yes, the powers of those who created them. And these powers are the powers that we must overcome now for our own good. Otherwise, we should forget it and continue to live in hell. So if you are joining me right now from everywhere, I've shared this message so we can understand the origin of the confusion why Africa is retarded and Africa is in one place marching on one spot. Yes, while the rest of the world is progressing. A continent that has over 45% of the earth's resources is the poorest. Yes, has the poorest people on earth. How can we justify that? Yes, those who created them, they left a legacy for their generations that they have continued to carry on. They tweak it, the same thing, their ideology. Though we may not be physically, are not being forcibly taken away from our continent, they found a way of doing it, where all of us struggle, fight to get out of that place. Yes, and then the place is empty, but the resources are there. They find ways to come in there with minimal resistance and then set up confusion across the continent. So why can't we unite Africans? Why can't the world is going through a lot of changes right now? And all the changes that they are going through, what the world is going through, they point us to the usual exploitation. It's Africa in a different way. Hello, how are you from Bangladesh? How you doing? Yes, Gaming Hassan, nice to meet you. All right. How is your area? How is Bangladesh? I hope you're doing well. All right, so we are talking about Africa. Yeah, the importance of the unification of Africa. Looking at the way the world is shaping right now. We have suffered enough. We have suffered enough. We have everything in our continent, but we produce the poorest people on earth. So that has to flip, but it's going to require a lot of work from the people of Africa. So where do we start from? Hey, hello, hi, how are you? Okay, Gaza, is it Gaza? Gaurav, how you doing? Thank you for joining, Where are you joining from? Please amplify this message. Oh, all right, from India. Okay, I am broadcasting from the United States. Nice to meet you. How is India? Where are you from? Which part of India? Are you from Bombay or Mumbai? Or where? Where in India? All right. Our discussion is about Africa. The way Africa is. For 700 years, the Arabs came and carted away millions of Africans. After that, another 400 years, the Europeans came, carted away millions of Africans. So Africans are scattered everywhere on earth, not as leaders, but as descendants of slaves, living below poverty line everywhere, including in their own continent. And now that should be evoking the kind of questions that I'm asking. When is the African man going to be free? Yes, we have to fight for our true independence so we can control our destiny. Our destiny is not in our hands. The destiny of Africa is not in the hands of the African people. The destiny of Africa is in the hands of exploiters and imperialists and neo-colonialists. When it's the African, they gave us education, wrong education, that made us aliens to ourselves and aliens to our continent. It's time for us to re-educate ourselves so we can take charge of our destiny. The destiny of Africa is not in Africa's hands. We have all the mineral and natural resources, but we cannot control the sales. We don't control their sales. They take them away from us as raw materials. They don't build anything in Africa. They exploit and deplete the people. And now The people are moving en masse. And when we go to their countries, they call us refugees. They call us immigrants. They call us all kinds of names. But when they come to our places, they call themselves experts, advisors. So we must stop this nonsense. It is in our hands. Why can't we rethink the type of leadership we have? We never have the type of leadership that is purely African, that is thinking Africa, that is walking Africa, that is eating Africa, that is sleeping Africa, that is waking Africa, that does things. We do things for the African people. Yes. How long are we going to remain where we are? One spot. Yes, I am driving. I'm driving safely. Yes, I'm very focused. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to get to my destination soon. But I am all eyes and ears everywhere. All right. So that is the story. Are you an African? Where are the Africans that follow my stream? I would love you to come here, especially the younger generation, the older people in Africa. Yes. Oh, okay. It's sleeping time in India. All right. All right. Okay. So that's a lot of time difference there. Good. Good. I wish you the best of sleep time. All right. So you wake up and get stronger. Yes. We are talking about Africa. Where are my African people? Where are my African brothers and sisters? Now, you see what is taking place. I'm very happy that we have young people springing up like Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Yes. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, Gurav. Okay. So we have a young man like Ibrahim Traore. He's thinking. We have young men like Faye from Senegal. He is thinking. We have Gianni. I hope he's thinking. And we have the young man in Mali. I believe he's thinking. And we need more Africans. We need more Pan-Africans, young Pan-Africans to take charge, to take the central stage. And we need to get rid of all the puppets in Africa because they represent darkness. We can't get anywhere with puppets like Bola Ahmed Tinubu in Nigeria and Paul Biya in Cameroon. We are not going to get anywhere. Alassane Ouattara in Ivory Coast. We are not going to get anywhere. I hope John Mahama in Ghana will be a different person from Akufo-Addo that was there before him. Yes. What about the one in Liberia? The Liberian guy, Boakai, I don't know what he's doing. From what I hear about what he's taking the rot in Liberia, it's concerning, really deeply concerning. So why do we have all these puppets heading countries in Africa? They cannot lead us anywhere. They allow rogues from other countries to come and exploit and steal our mineral resources, and they give nothing back. They come. I was listening to a young woman, the woman fighting for, it's a huge fighter for Liberia, Ms. Mesga. Yes, Ahawa. I was on her show last night, and what she was saying horrified me about how a Chinese beat up a Liberian young person and the person died. And the Liberian government is not doing anything. I can trust Nigeria. Nigerians do not need their government to do anything. They will take care of that Chinese immediately. Yes, you can't come from China. Yes, the prisoners they unleash from China to come to Africa to abuse Africans. No, Nigeria will not have it. The people of Nigeria will not have it. That is one area that I will give a thumb up for the people in Nigeria. They will not. You'll be leaving the country the next minute. Yes. And these abuses is what we don't want to continue. And why is it like that? Because our countries are fake. And that is the reason why we want the dissolution of all the fake borders that were erected by the imperialists and colonialists. They are fake. And because they are fake, we are not able to effectively relate with one another. Let us consciously break down the barriers and build our country. Build one country. And that's what our founding fathers envisioned. They want one Africa without borders. They want one Africa with one economy. They want one Africa with one reserve bank. They want one Africa with one military. And then when that happens, we will end all this madness that are taking place in Africa. Why can't we summon the political will? Why can't we summon the courage to give up all these fake sovereignties in Africa? The sovereignties that only exist in the mouth, but do not go beyond that. These sovereignties that are not respected by the colonialists and the neo-colonialists operating everywhere in Africa. They use our people. They install puppets as leaders in Africa. Yes, to continue to advance their evil cause against the people of Africa and against the destiny of Africa. The key to the destiny of Africa is not in the hands of the African people. It's in the hands of those who will stand somewhere and tweak it, and then all of us will react. We are not the owners of Africa. Let's be very honest and straightforward about that. If we are the owners of Africa, we'll be deciding the cost, how much we sell our crude oil. We'll be the one deciding how much we sell our gold. We'll be the one deciding how much we sell our diamond. We'll be the one who will decide how much we sell our copper. We will decide how much we sell our lithium, bauxite, yes, ruby, and all the mineral resources. Yes, we will be the ones deciding that our people will live better lives. Yes, we will be the ones deciding the quality of hospitals that we build. We'll be the ones deciding who lead us, and those who will lead us the right way, and not those who will exploit us on behalf of their slave masters that they work with to steal everything from us and then turn around and say they are giving us aid, that they now withdraw, and then all of us are crying that we don't have money for HIV medicine. Why can't we build our own pharmaceuticals? Why can't we build our own research institutions? Why do we have to be dependent on other people? We should be ashamed of ourselves. It is all our fault because we don't have those leaders with guts. We don't have those leaders with courage. We don't have those leaders with knowledge. We don't have those leaders with exceptional content of character required to build, utilize, expand, extend, and sustain capacity for Africa and the African people. These are the things that we lack. We don't have those ingredients of leadership that can make Africa truly a great continent that it was designed to be. Mother of the earth that is going through all forms of abuse right now from everywhere on the corners of this earth. We must stand up, and this is the thing why we need a new sense of direction. Yes, driven by a new compass, leadership with a strong and powerful and robust moral compass to drive our destiny in the direction that will be progressive, in the direction that will create free, fair, equal, unlimited, and unconditional access to opportunity to all Africans, and including those who come with good intentions to invest and do business with Africa. Are we asking for so much doing this? It is in our hands. And this is the reason why we must align. We must align and line behind the likes of Ibrahim Traore. Yes, a young man who came out, a young man who has been subject of one type of assassination attempt or the other because he stood up for his country. He's standing up for Africa for the first time here after Thomas Sankara, a young generation of leaders who understand that their people are suffering, that their people are being exploited, and then decided to stand up. They have made so many attempts to kill him. If they kill him, they are killing the whole of Africa. Why are we not building a force around Ibrahim Traore to take us away from the darkness in which our continent is being enveloped? Now is a moment for us to think. Africans, Are we an inferior people? I don't feel inferior. I am not an inferior person. No person is better than me. No man from any race on earth is better than me. I am as good, if not even better than them. So why are we the way we are? We must dust off the colonial mentality. We must dust off inferiority complex to take charge of our destiny, take charge of Africa. That is what is required right now. That is what is required right now. That was what Emperor Haile Selassie did. That was what Sekou Toure did. That was what the grandfather of New Africa, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, from a child, a descendant of slave, who decided that we have had enough. I can't be a slave. I have to be a free man. He broke the chains. He built a 6 million man, a strong black movement. Yes, in the 1900s, up to the 1940s, when he died, to inspire the liberation of the black man and the decolonization of the African continent. Are we serving them right? They are spinning in their graves, looking at the way Africa is right now, and looking at the type of people leading Africa. Yes, in all the fake countries. Why can't we unite to break down the barriers and say bye to the old colonial countries of Africa, and then build one Africa with one economy, one Africa without border, one Africa with one reserve bank, one Africa with one strong military? Yes, that can solve its own problems. An Africa that can solve its own problems without inviting third parties who don't mean well for us. That is what we want. An Africa that will never again be referred to as a shithole continent. Yes, it's a challenge. That is why I love what Donald Trump is doing to us. Why are we afraid? Why are we afraid of breaking away from slavery? All we need to stand together everywhere. Bless up. Thank you, Happy. Thank you very much. Yes, I agree with you. That is what, from Jamaica, from everywhere, as long as you are a black man, you are an African. That's what Peter McIntosh said. Yes, and that was why this fought. Peter, Bonnie, Bob, and all them stood together and said, Africa is home. They came. What are Africans in Africa doing? What are the Africans in Africa doing? Why are they not waking up yet? Why are they not waking up yet? Why will an African allow Britain, why the African people will allow Britain be the one to install leaders on them like they did in Nigeria? They do in Nigeria, they have been doing, and they are doing it in all countries. Small Britain, small France is controlling the destiny of the whole of Africa. We have not done well. We have failed our founding fathers. We have resigned. Oh, they gave us a cell phone. What makes the cell phone come from? It comes from Congo. Congo is in turmoil. Millions of people live below poverty line. Millions of Congolese are in IDP camps in their home country, and they are called refugees. They are called displaced people. What is responsible for the displacement of millions of Congolese? It tells you something. We don't have our destiny in our hands. We don't have the type of leadership that has guts. All the leaders in Africa are mostly puppets. And that is why we must do something about them. Remove them. Remove them. Remove them. And bring about a new leadership. If we don't dissolve all these fake countries by imperial powers and codes, it is only when we dismantle all the fake countries in Africa and build a new code is in the hands of our exploiters and oppressors who come with audacity to tell us that they are giving us aid. Giving us aid from what they stole from us. How dare you come? And this is the reason why we need a new set of an audacious leadership to save Africa. Where are the African people? Where are the young Africans? You don't come to the social media to act crazy, to do silly things when your continent is being lost. Yes, we are losing Africa so fast and so rapidly. And now is the moment for us to take action. Action is required. You hear Professor Patrice Lumumba speak. You hear Ibrahim Traore speak. You hear Julius Malema speak. You are hearing me speaking. You hear a lot of other Africans speaking in the same direction of the unification of Africa as it was envisioned by our founding fathers. So what are you doing? What do you do with your cell phone? Are you sharing the message of the truth? Are you behaving right in your countries? Are you thinking that you are an inferior person and so you have given up, you have resigned, and then think that nothing can be done? I was listening to a news item yesterday, an interview on one of Nigeria's national televisions. I heard Professor Bolaji Akinyemi speak. He was a former minister of external affairs for Nigeria. He did not offer hope for what is taking place in Nigeria. And I felt that that was not good enough for somebody like that, a respected person. So what does he want the new generation to do? If he made that type of statement that the situation in Nigeria was hopeless and that there was nothing anybody could do. Yes, I stand to say that we can do a lot of things. And part of the thing, number one thing we must do is to introspect about what we want for our continent, what we want for our country. And then, well, coming out of that, look at the leadership we have had all this while. Do we have leaders? Have we ever had true leaders? Yes, not just a leader. Where do we have a system, that a standard system that will work for us? A system that put our strategic national interest here at the forefront of everything? Why are we stuck? Why are we a people in defense at all times? Why have we not gone offensive? Why is it that we cannot operate outside our enclave where we receive all kinds of fake aids? Yes. Why? Now, why have we not asked ourselves what drives these people who travel thousands of miles to come to Africa to do us so good, to give us aids? How come we don't have an organized system that we can use to go to their own countries? Yes, and then offer them service that they cannot refuse. Then we become a force to reckon with. How come China, within the past 50 years, look at what they transformed. Because they decided, they asked themselves questions. They drew a blueprint for survival, and they are acting on it. Look at what China is doing. China is everywhere on earth. Yes. They even do what the previous colonial masters did not do. They are in every village right now, and mostly doing illegal things. Yes, our people are looking. And, like this, the black man, the African man is condemned to reasoning like a subservient, reasoning below. I don't know how to say it again, and that will not, but I am not reasoning like that. Why can't we raise our consciousness? Yes. Why can't we look at our foreign policies and then do something in that direction? Actionable foreign policy. Why are we where we are, stuck as beggars, when we have everything that is feeding the whole world? Why are we where we are? It borders on one thing, leadership. And it borders on another thing, the followership. What kind of education are we giving our people? Isn't it time we change our educational curriculum to educate us for who we are and not educate us to be schizophrenic, so distant from reality, so distant from ourselves, so distant from our continent, so distant for everything that will advance a cause for Africa and the African people? Yes, it is education. When you want to make a people, want to mess up a people, you give them the wrong education that will benefit you as an oppressor. Yes, our educational system is wrong. And that some of our tradition we have to dispense with. Tradition that sits on top of progress. Tradition that stifles progress. Tradition that makes it impossible for us to question our environment. Yes, Africans don't question their environment. They don't explore their environment. They have to wait for somebody from somewhere else with a different skin color to come and do it. Is there any reason? We have the best type of medicine. Yes, our medicine, African medicine, from what I know, is to cure, not to prevent, just to cure. Yes, we do have preventive elements, but total cure, not the one that will bring you back. Yes. What happened to that? Have we been able to? We condemn it as wrong. As wrong. We are ingesting the wrong thing. And some of those things we worship were things that were stolen from us because we lost our mind. We lost who we are. We lost our developmental compass. We lost our moral compass. We lost everything. And then when those who have ideas come to want to make a difference, what do? We kill them. We stifle them. We frustrate them. We make lives hell for them. And then if they are lucky to escape, they go to places where they are given the access, where they are given the enabling environment to thrive. They thrive. And when they make it, we claim them. They are our boys. They are our girls. They are our people. But when they come to Africa to say, okay, I will have made it here now, let us do this way. I am a practical example. It happened to me. You know, I was run out of Africa. They told me, yeah, I'm an Americana. How will I be an Americana with so much love for my continent? I remember where I come from every day and night, and sending money. A lot of times I'm broke. Yes, fighting for you, trying to make you see reason, the reason why you should stand up and then do things differently from what was known, has been known. And that has been keeping us where we are. One spot. We can't go anywhere being on one spot. We need to change that code. If we don't change that code, we will remain in hell. If we don't change that code, our continent will remain a shithole. If we don't change that code, we will remain in slavery, far worse than what our ancestors went through another generation. You know, every generation they change it. All right, the generation that tells us about human rights, but who have no respect for our human rights. That's what is on board right now. It is time. Africans, it is time. Africans, it is time. Do you worry about African Union that cannot fund its programs? An African Union who will draw a budget for Europe to fund? An African Union that will draw a budget for the United States to fund? An African Union who cannot build its own secretariat? Its own secretariat was built and bogged by China. China knows whatever is taking place in Africa. They bogged the African Union building that they built. Now, what happened to our engineers? What about all the architects that we graduate from our universities? Why not put them in use? Because we are corrupt. Our leaders are corrupt and very lazy. They are not visionary. They are just a bunch of idiots leading Africa. A bunch of idiots, so cheap and so corrupt that cannot fund any program on behalf of the African Union. But they take their entire country's budgets, put them in their pockets, and go and buy properties in America, buy in the United Kingdom, buy in Dubai, buy in Saudi Arabia. Yes, but leave their own place and their people worse off. When they are sick, they are in America. When they are sick, they are in London. When they are sick, they are in Dubai. When they are sick, they are in Saudi Arabia. When they are sick, they are looking for the best hospitals on earth, but they build absolutely nothing. Yes, for the people there. Our people are dying in droves. I'm talking about Nigeria now that I know so well. The people are dying in droves. Our environment is degraded, but we are the sixth largest producers of oil. Go back to the Niger Delta and you will cry. You will cry. You will ask yourself, why am I from this part of this world? Why am I from this real, honestly, darkness? Yes, that some people don't want to end. Yes, leadership. Leadership. Nigeria needs it. Africa needs it so urgently. We have to fast track the unification of Africa, because the slavery that our forefathers envisaged is coming back. The neo-colonialism is here with us. Imperialism is alive and well. And if we don't join the likes of Tiani, if we don't join the likes of Ibrahim Traore, the future of Africa will be bleak. So bleak. If we don't join forces with Professor Patrick Lumumba, Julius Malema, and other activists advancing the cause of the unification of Africa, and take them seriously, and then come to a round table where we make a historic decision. If they could hold their meeting in Berlin Conference in 1884 and 1885, and then set a sail to come to Africa to balkanize what they did not create, why is it that it is impossible for Africans to unite, to come to a big conference, to make a far-reaching decision that will lead to the dissolution of all the fake countries in Africa? That moment must come. And it's going to take leaders with guts. What use is your fake sovereignty when you cannot feed your people? What use is your fake sovereignty if you cannot defend your people? What use is your fake sovereignty if you cannot build the roads on which your people can travel? What use is your sovereignty if you cannot generate and distribute electricity and industrialize your continent or your countries for the people to have access to employment opportunities? What use is your sovereignty if you remain beggars? What use is your sovereignty if your budget is based on aid that you receive from imperial powers who don't mean well for you, who come to your continent to take everything, to build their own economies, and call you those people? That's what they said, those people, those Africans. Africans, where is your pride? African young man and woman, where is your pride? African young woman and man, where is your future? Do you worry about that? Now, why are you on the internet every day? You see developments taking place across the world. You see the Chinese young people are up and down doing things. You see the Japanese, they're not letting up. You read from the Americans, they love their country. You see the British people, they want to sustain that culture of exploitation that their ancestors established to keep Nigeria, yes, in a cup. Do you imagine 87 million people? 87 million people? 87 million people? Yes, I'm talking about Britain, the population of Britain. 87 million against Nigeria's 250 million. Nigeria's 250 million. 87 million people, representative from 87 million, are controlling the destiny of 250 million Nigerians. Are we not ashamed of ourselves? And then we look up them, we call them, they say, you know how disgusting it is to call some people that they are your colonial masters? Why is it that Nigeria cannot do the same thing the United States did to become great? Do you know that the United States was once a British colony? Yes, America was once a British colony. Yes, the United States of America the most powerful country on earth, was a British colony. They woke up one day and said, look, we're not going to allow these people to continue to control us and then take taxes from us to build London, build Britain. No, they severed link. They said, no, to hell with you. They called their bluff. Yes. And they fight them and beat them silly to earn respect and their independence. It didn't take long before America became a superpower, dethroning Imperial Britain. Today, what happens? If America sneezes, Britain will jerk. You know, Nigeria was, even though it was an accident, a disastrous accident, Nigeria was historically positioned to be the same thing as the United States of America. Yes, Nigeria is supposed to be what the United States is to the north of America, to Africa. Their leadership rallied. They saw the need to come together. They had their differences before then. After a while, it dawned on them that the only way to dominate was to come together. And they took that historic decision and changed their code. They took the code that the British people, they destroyed the British code over America. And America established its own code with its destiny driven by Americans, not anymore by the British people. So if Britain wants to take any decision today, and America is refusing to play along, they dump it. Don't you see, they always go along with America leading the charge. If America says no, the whole of Europe keeps. We must take that step. Yes, we must take that historic step. And now is the time. Now is the moment. We cannot afford not to take action. If we don't do it, we will suffer today, and our unborn generations will suffer. Is there any reason why we can't do it? Tell me why. Was there a reason why all Nigeria's presidential candidates in the fake election of 2023 lined up to go to London to submit their manifestos? What is Nigeria doing in British Commonwealth? Are we Britons? Are we Europeans? Why can't we invest on building a true African Union? Don't you see how the European Union is working? It works. Do they need the help of Nigeria or any of the fake African countries to make it work? It works for them, but they don't want ours to work because we have idiots leading Africa. Mostly idiots leading Africa. Greedy fools. Why are we holding down these fake sovereignties? Why do we have a country like a Republic of what is called this small country? Benin Republic. How many people are in Benin Republic? What is the capacity of Benin Republic? They put all those, Togo. What is the need for Togo? What's Ghana? They put all these countries together, knowing fully well that they can easily overpower them. Africa, we must build capacity. If we cannot build that capacity that we emancipate ourselves, I don't know what else to tell Africans. And it is in the hands of the ordinary African people to have a rethink about who we support to lead our countries. Let us wake up and get our acts together and change our history. It is possible. We can do it. It's only me, you, and the rest of us that can make it happen. What is it that we are waiting for? Emperor Haile Selassie did his best. Kwame Nkrumah did his part. Sekou Toure did his part. Modibo Keita did his part. Kenneth Kaunda, Julius Nyerere, Jomo Kenyatta, they did their best in their times. Why have we resigned? Why have we given up Africa? Why are we allowing the bleeding of Africa to continue? Worse than it has ever been. This is our call. Good morning. And I'll see you in my next stream. Bye for now.